Hello, everybody. How on earth are we doing today? It's Connor. We're back. We've got the debrief a little bit later on tonight, but I wanted to get out a little bit of a rumour mill before we start, streaming this evening. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all good. Hope you're all happy. Hope you're all healthy. I'm sure you are. Get your comments in the section below, everybody. We've got a few bits and bats to get through regarding Leeds United. I can see a few regular faces in the comment section below. Jesse's angry. Yeah, cheers, Demar. It's listen, guys, we're going to be getting into the news, but some of the news is Jesse getting a bit peeved off with everything that is his life at this moment in time in terms of Leeds United. Apparently, he has got a lot to say to Andrea Radrizzani. Let me just brighten up this camera. It's a bit dark and dingy in Manchester today. But yeah, guys, hope you're all doing really well, as I've said multiple times, and we're going to get into a bit of the content in a little bit. Getting a few comments. Marsch completely out of his depth. Worst match of my time. 100%. He of course was, but he's been waffling on today, and I want to get into that in particular. So keep getting your comments in the section below, everybody. Let's get into it, shall we? So we're going to get into some of your news today. So yeah, we'll get into the first bit of it. Diego Llorente. It's only going to be a quick snippet from me, everybody. Before we get into the debrief tonight, make sure you're there at 8 p.m. Me, Oscar, and Gabe, potentially Brownie as well. But yeah, we'll get into a bit of news prior getting into all the Jesse Marsch stuff. But Diego Llorente, it looks like he's heading to Roma at 4.3 million, according to Roma Metropolitan. The Italian outlet reported on its website on Wednesday, the 20th December, obviously today, that the Italian giants want to strengthen in defence. Very interesting indeed. Strengthening defence is probably not something I would attribute to Diego Llorente in terms of strength and being a defender, but there we go. But yeah, interesting to see that Roma have seen this as a move that, Leeds United would be willing to do, and obviously Roma are willing to do as well. The permanent move would become even more likely if Leeds were unable to win promotion back to the Premier League this season. Obviously, that's another thing, isn't it? If Leeds are to win promotion back to the Premier League this season, that's going to be a massive benefit, because Leeds are naturally going to be able to offer a probable, we're probably going to be able to ask for a little bit more money for him. This article is quite funny. Get him gone. I think that is just the remit of a lot of Leeds fans when it comes to Llorente. Let's be brutally honest. It's not something that we want to entertain, really, is it? When it comes to Diego, he needs to be leaving this club ASAP. Plays out of contract as well, everybody. And I think this article in particular really makes it absolutely obvious as to why Leeds United need to be investing and doing stuff in, the January month. Liam Cooper being the standout name in the summer months, who's going to be out of contract. Obviously, we understand that Cooper's not really been, involved with everything this season at Leeds United. And I think it's imperative that we do look at centre-back options, and we're going to get into a little bit when it comes to Joe Rodon in just a little bit, but he's had something to say as well on his future at Ellen Road. But I think with Coops going out, this is why it's interesting what's going to be happening with Charlie Cresswell, because if Leeds are to let Cresswell go, even if we are to keep a starting centre-back, letting Cresswell go would be absolutely massive, because then you've not got that replacement. You've not got that replacement for Liam Cooper when Coops is to leave, and I think that's just a steady progression as well. I think it would be almost a bit of a mistake for Leeds to let him go, and I think quality-wise, as we know, in my opinion, Charlie Cresswell's a bit of a level above to Liam Cooper anyway in terms of ability. The interesting ones here as well are Luke Ayling, and you forget about this bit, everybody. Farke actually tried to convince Liam Cooper to stay in October, which is absolutely nuts and terrifying. But the fullbacks are massive here. So, we're talking about fullbacks being invested in January. And you look at this, Stuart Dallas obviously has been long-term action. Sam Byram, the White's going to cut the losses when it comes to him and injury records, another fullback there. But then you move down, apparently Shackleton as well. News today coming out that apparently he could be out for around about 3 to 4, I think it's another 3 to 4 weeks on top of what he's got right now. And that's another fullback, another option right there. So these are all fullback options who are out of contract, but also, unless you're Sam Byram, not playing regularly. So that is mental, isn't it? It's absolutely mental when you actually look at Leeds United and what's going to be going on in the very, very near future. Ian Pervader, do you look at keeping a hold of him? Looks like he's getting a lot of plaudits in Colombia. Is he an option off the bench? Just getting into a few comments, everybody. What we're paying $4 million to take him when it comes to Llorente, says Rye. Is Charlie the new Leaf? Potentially, mate. Love the optics. Connor, yeah, cheers, pal. Your content keeps getting much better. Thanks, Arnold. I'm trying to do it, mate, as little by little, monetary outgoing by monetary outgoing. A little bit of an update for you guys as well. I will, excitingly, be heading down to Ellen Road at the weekend. So, if you guys want to come and say hello, please do so. But yeah, I just wanted to have a little bit of a chat just on what's going on really when it comes to Leeds United and the next step when it comes to our centre-backs and the next step when it comes to our full-backs. I think we're realising now that this is just a massive period for Leeds in January with the amount we've got full-back-wise as well, who are not in the side right now or, on the periphery or even those who are injured. It just means that this window is just going to be absolutely massive for Leeds United. Moving into the next bit of news, everybody. Joe Rodon, and this is interesting, isn't it? When we're talking about centre-backs, this is just something I wanted to highlight to you guys today. According to Adam Pope, obviously, Leeds United radio journalist, when asked if he would like to consider his future in January, everybody, he said, I can't answer that question. All I can focus on is the next game. We'll see what happens. My job is to give everything and be successful as I possibly can. Now, this is interesting because we'll see what happens. Is that Joe Rodon a little bit open there for a January transfer? Cheers, Russ, can see you in the comment section below, mate. And Porton Biohazards, thank you so much. Bit of an impromptu one. There's 260 of you in the building, everybody. Please make sure you slap a like on the video. I hope you're enjoying the content. But yeah, Joe Rodon, we'll see what happens. I think once again with Joe, it's how do you it's how do you do that in January? It's how do you make that something which as a collective we can get done very, very quickly and we can get done efficiently. As I've said to you guys before, I think the only way that would happen, really, if we're being brutally honest, is if maybe a Willie Gnonto was to go the other way. I don't know if Leeds will be putting up that sort of money until they've really seen a full season of Joe Rodon, until they've seen, if he can last it. And if he can last it at the level that he's performing now. But I don't know if Leeds will put that risk out and make that transfer now. Almost, it's very risky right now for Leeds to do. Obviously, we know that Joe Rodon was injured at Rennes as well. Or wasn't playing at Rennes as well as picking up a couple of injuries, a couple of niggles in that season. So I don't know if Leeds are going to go full throttle for the centre-back in January. But it's going to be fascinating to see what happens there. Next on the list, what else is going on in the world of Leeds United? Should we get on to Jesse? Jesse. Now, this is like the first time, I'm pretty sure it's one of the first time. I don't know if you guys know, but maybe it's just me, and I've not been on the level of Jesse Marsch. But I just feel like I've not seen anything when it comes to Marsch since he's left Leeds. So this is why I'm just a little bit interested to see like what he was saying. So I've read some bits that he's been slamming Radrizzani in the past couple of weeks or whatever it's been, but I don't know when this was taken. I feel like it. Let me just see when this was. When was this? I don't know. Does it say what date? It's normally good with an article when it tells you the date. But this is Leeds Live, isn't it? So you probably never know. But listen to this, everybody. So now Marsch has hit out. Now the United Supremo. Is absolutely hilarious way of putting it, but it's Andrea Radrizzani. Now, he's had a go at Radrizzani essentially for failing to hold his nerve when it's come to Jesse. Let me just move myself down there so you guys can see it. So he said, And let me know what you think to this, everybody. Please let me know. Yeah, Russ, I can see that, mate. I think it is the 20th, innit, mate? Now Marsch has hit out with the former United Supremo. What a way to describe him. For failing to hold his nerve by sticking by me. Told the Daily Mail, what went wrong is we were a couple of results away from getting everything moving in the right direction. And I believe that everything was already moving in the right direction. But in the end, the owner lost his nerve and he paid the price for it. Oh my God. Jesse, the cheek. The cheek. Where I'm at right now, I don't need a job. Oh, God, Jesse, our loss, mate. Our loss. God, we've let him go. Our mistake. And then he now doesn't need a job, you know? He got pied off by Southampton. He got through to the interview process, from what I understand, and didn't get through to that final stage. My need is to find the right job and the right situation, the right people. I'm still looking forward to being on the touchline again, to being involved with teams and players again. So I think this is just a way to keep me active. So Jesse, it sounds like you do kind of need a job there, mate. It sounds like you need a job to keep you active. Jesse's just great value in a strange sort of way, in a warped sort of way. I kind of would like to see him back in football. Me and Gabe were talking about this the other day. Like, I genuinely would like to see him back in football, just to almost witness that again. Witness Jesse Marsch, but at another club. Another club where it's not going to pain me. It's not going to affect my club in a ridiculous manner. But I think, at a different club, the value of that guy would be impeccable. It really, really would be impeccable. But yeah, so yeah, I don't need a job. My need is to find the right job and the right situation, the right people. I'm still looking forward to being on the touchline again, being active with teams and players. So fair play to Jesse. Fair play. Has he said anything else? No, but what a guy. What a guy. Look at my thumbnail and you'll love it again. You just remember those passion merchant beats of the chest. And when we lost 1-0 at Leicester, do you remember he was crying out to the fans? Then we got battered by Man City and he's sort of like putting two hands in the air and doing the whole American let's go thing. But yeah, fair play to him. Fair play. Get Jesse to Ipswich, as Tashin says. Get him to Ipswich. Get McKenna gone and get him to Ipswich. But yeah, I just wanted to check some stats out. And in case I'm missing something here, Jesse's win percentage was 28%. He got 1.12 points per game. He scored a decent amount of goals per game, to be fair. But the goals conceded were pretty mad. 0.90 per game. Smashed the FA Cup, to be fair to him. Look at that. Smashed it. But overall, Jesse's record in the Prem was nothing short of shocking. Absolutely shocking. But look at that. In the Austrian Cup. In the Bundesliga, flying. What's he also done at Salzburg? Anyway, we don't care, do we? But yeah, that's the interesting side of it, everyone. But this is the key thing that I wanted you to focus on today. Watch that. That wasn't nudity, was it? Thank God. It's the next level of Leeds United contracts being up. Dallas, Byram, Ayling, Shackleton are probably the main four there, and obviously Liam Cooper. Leeds need to make, it's not all just about the one transfer window, as we know. It's not just about the one. It's not just going to be about January. It's going to be about, the summer. Then it's going to be about the January afterwards. So Leeds need to make preparations for me as soon as possible, and we can start in this window by doing so, and looking at a couple of fullbacks to bring in. Maybe he just wants Cooper to stay and be the experienced player. Yeah, definitely. Hi, Justin. Yeah, smack the trash like, mate. TR Port says, can talk the talk, but he can't walk the walk. I know, mate. I know. But that is Jesse. I heard Jesse walking around Harrogate in his slippers, drunk, shouting. They're scared, man. I saw him in Harrogate, Did you know that? I saw Marsch in Harrogate. And I said something to him, and I went, Jesse. And he was with his family, and he turned round, and I went, march on together. It's like, well, Connor, you've really taken the moment there, mate. I think we just beat Wolves 3-2 at the time, but I just gave a really cringy, let's go, or like some just sort of weird Americanism, which is fine, giving him a bit of a motivation, a little bit of a push, but it was like, march on together, Jesse, let's go. And I was like, when you get back in, you're like, why did that come to my head? What? And he kind of just went, What you doing? So he kind of just looked at me, Damar. He just looked at me and sort of put his hand up and went like that. And he must have thought, because at the time I was at my ex-partner's flat, and I just saw him. If you guys know the Sainsbury's at the top of this road, it's you know where the Badger is? The Badger at the bottom of this road. I'm really bad with road names. It's called the Fat Badger, I think, in Harrogate. It's a pub right at the bottom, and you go up to the top of this hill, and I was on a flat on the left, and it was the Sainsbury's, and he was opposite it. Key memories, you can tell. And I just shouted over, and he had no interest. But he did turn around, to be fair. He was with his family, and I was just poking my head out of a window, and I then told my dad, and my dad said, "Why did you say that?" "Don't know, Dad. Just came to me." I could have even asked him for an interview, couldn't I? One Leeds, fancy it, Jesse? Don't think that would have gone down well. But yeah, that was it is the bottom of Coldbath Road, mate. Yeah, I think it is. The cheek of the guy, he's as much to blame as Rads and all in the absolute donkeys last season, like Christensen and Aaron said. Yeah, I mean, the guy brought some of his, like a lot of his players as well, didn't he? I mean, flipping it, Jesse. To say, I mean, this is the best one. This quote, I'll just bring you back to it one more time, everybody. This is my favourite quote about it. I can't believe he just said it. That's why I had to do a video on it. I just can't believe he said it. Look at this. Look, I know Rads, I understand Rads wasn't the best, but he did bring us back. He did bring us back to the promised land. He did bring Bielsa in. Right? Jesse Marsch had no imprint on this club whatsoever. But in the end, the owner just lost his nerve and paid the price for it. Jesse Marsch. My goodness. Anyway, everybody, I just thought I thought we could have a little bit of a laugh about that today. Anyway, but yeah, we're going to be back this evening with the debrief. I hope you're all excited for that one. It's going to be an absolute bumper episode. But I just wanted to get on today, everybody. I've been doing a lot of things with the channel today, so it's been a lot of admin-y work. As you can probably tell, there's stuff going on in the background. If you want to join the Patreon, we have got Generation Leeds out tomorrow. We then will have the General out with Gabe. A lot of G's, isn't there, in these podcasts? But yeah, I hope you're going to go over there and see that, everybody. All the donations go towards the channel. I hope you're having a good day. Can you believe it's nearly Christmas? Can you believe it's nearly Christmas? Wow, pitch black as well at 4:15. Good God help us. But guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Listen, I'll see you in about 4 hours' time. Make sure you watch this from the start if you've just joined, and I'll catch you in a bit. Cheers.